Akira Toriyama helped design one of the most incredible RPG worlds ever. Very few can compare to the colorful cast of heroes and villains from the Dragon Quest franchise that have helped it become such a standout JRPG series. Like any gaming series, there are highs and lows to each installment. The Mainline series avoids falling into the worst category, but not all Dragon Quest games are created equal. Ranking this series, which has provided players with so much enjoyment, isn't easy. But still, looking at the series objectively, each Dragon Quest title stands alone for several reasons. Today on Game Rant, we're counting down the top 5 best mainline Dragon Quest games, ranked. At number 5, Dragon Quest III: The Seeds of Salvation. Dragon Quest III is one of the most popular titles in the series, and it's clear to see why. The game added several new mechanics, breaking new ground with the title far ahead of its time. The original DQ3 was released in 1988 on the Super Famicom in Japan. However, the acclaimed JRPG wasn't launched in the West until 2001 for the Game Boy Color. Innovations like the day and night cycle in Dragon Quest III were genre-defining and made the world feel immersive. It also heavily expanded on the open-world aspects of the first two games, giving it the feel of a sprawling epic. A 2D HD remake of Dragon Quest III is currently in development. At number 4, Dragon Quest XI's: Echoes of an Elusive Age. The newest installment in the series, Dragon Quest XI, spectacularly carries the torch. The graphics are jaw-dropping, the enemies are goofy, and the characters are incredibly charming. With the definitive edition launching with an orchestral soundtrack in a 16-bit style 2D mode, Dragon Quest XI is one of the best JRPGs in a generation. DQ11 is everything that fans have come to expect from the series and more, with the seemingly endless amounts of things to do. The only drawback is that the story is a little cliché, but the narrative can still offer surprises with its beautiful world and traditional combat system. Dragon Quest IX has one unique feature that sets it apart from others in the series. Sentinels of the Starry Skies has a full cooperative story. There are a couple of kinks when playing multiplayer though. The loot and story progression is only saved on the leading profile, but despite that, the co-op mode runs surprisingly well. There are very few cooperative RPGs around, and Dragon Quest IX manages to tell an engaging story that players can play through with a friend. At number 2, Dragon Quest V: Hand of the Heavenly Blade. Dragon Quest V might be one of the greatest RPGs of all time. While other entries in the series can water down their story somewhat, Dragon Quest V shakes things up by having one of the best stories in the series. This multi-generation story tells an epic that keeps players on the edge of their seats from beginning to end. And finally, at number 1, Dragon Quest VIII: Journey of the Cursed King. Dragon Quest VIII was a return to form for the series. Every mainline Dragon Quest game ranged from good to great, but the 8th installment in the series elevated it to a new level and brought in more fans than ever. Throw in some arena monster wars, a gorgeous open world, and graphics that still hold up today, and it's no wonder that this is the best Dragon Quest game to date. From multiplayer worlds to single-player stories, those were our picks for the top 5 best Dragon Quest games, ranked. Thank you for watching Game Rant. I'm Cameron. We'll see you next time.